DJI Spark 2. What can we expect? Got that coming up. Before we get into the clip, got a couple of disclaimers. First is, there is no information on the FCC grant ID database regarding a DJI Spark 2. The second disclaimer is that DJI has not made an announcement regarding a release event. With that, let's begin. The other night on Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live, we took a good look at the DJI Spark 2 with some renderings that were done by a C-Lev probably well over a year ago. And so with that, let's go ahead and roll that clip right now. Also wanted to let you know, one of the getting information about, about future releases, it's an art, okay? And really, like I've said in one of the videos, we have Evan Blass and Ice Universe as far as like smartphones are concerned, and they put out some great information. They find these leaks out. They're great with that, okay? In the drone community, we're not so fortunate. We only had a C-Lev, okay? Now, I found out how he got his information was his sister had worked for DJI. Well, I recently found out Bill Thomas told me that his sister was let go in this DJI fraud investigation. So as far as the pipeline and streamline of information from a C-Lev, it's gone. He doesn't have that anymore. But what I wanted to digress to was its age. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Don't doubt that for a second there. not at all, Lloyd. Absolutely not at all. Thank you for confirming my sanity. I really appreciate that. But I want to digress. C-Lev, and I don't know the date exactly, and I'm going to share several slides on the screen. About some renderings he did of a Spark 2. Now, the reason I want to bring these up tonight is there's been just a lot of talk about what a Spark 2 would entail. So I want to go ahead and look at these. Now, give me some latitude here. While I don't follow a C-Lev like I did before, obviously he's not an accurate source of information. I want to put these up here so we can maybe revisit them when the Spark 2 does come out, and we can say, you know what? He was right on this. He was right on this. He was right on this. Oops, he missed that. But, just have a point of reference here for this because it's coming. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm hearing a lot about, that this is coming here. So let me go ahead and get this up on the screen here. Okay. Now you're seeing this is a concept by him. So bear with us here. Brand new second generation Spark, small, compact, but powerful, Wi-Fi upgraded hardware. You will love it when you see it. And he said he's listing the camera specs here: 4K, 30 frames per second, 1080, 60 frames per second, 12 megapixels, 1/2 CMOS, and HDR. I'm going to go ahead and put the second slide up on the screen here. And he talked about rear obstacle avoidance, protect Spark 2 from behind. And then we'll go ahead and put the last one up here. Spark 2, Wi-Fi, 4 kilometer, enhanced Wi-Fi transmission range up to 4 kilometers, removable thumbstick for storage. Where have we seen that idea? Okay. Remote controller is optional accessory. And he's talking about, you can see there's a wire over here that he has over here as far as that's concerned. So, this is very interesting. And I think, one of the things that we need to remember here, this rumor has been very strong. So, that's one thing that I think we need to keep this in mind. It's been talked about in a number of circles here. And from everything that I'm hearing from everyone that I'm hearing it from, this is going to happen. And one of the things you need to take into account here is, DJI likes to dominate the market, okay, the market segment. And I had a talk with my friend Barry about this, email chat, and they don't want competition. They want to be number one, okay? And they have some competition in this segment, okay? As Ron and Marcus can attest to, the Xeno is some competition for them in this price point. it's a great drone, and it's getting better. And through testing efforts like Ron and Marcus and others, the Xeno is getting to be a great drone. Now, the Fimi X8 is also going to provide some competition in this price range. And I think that's why it's important that, we take a look at this, a Spark 2, and bear in mind, and I agree with what Bill Thomas said, they're not going to go crazy, which I don't think, according to what we just saw from those renderings here, it's not crazy, but they are enhancements. And I think they're enhancements at the point that I think it's not going to really raise the cost a great deal, because, it's still, even at retail, it was still a very affordable drone. It got a lot of people into that, as far as that's concerned. So, that's where I see this going. Like I said, DJI wants to be number one. And in order for them to do that, they have to hit all segments. Now, especially, as far as the consumer end is concerned. And with consumer, we've seen such a great, I want to put this into words. We've seen such an incredible interest in the Mavic 2 series. Okay. It's just been stellar. And I'm going to have a video coming out next week on the Mavic 2 and just talking about that in general. Ron, you're right. It's all about the price of the new Spark. You really are. And, if DJI can keep that price point, say for a Spark with a remote controller, $399, $400 range, not without a fly more kit, but if they can keep that in that kind of range, it's going to sell off the shelves. And add these enhancements like we saw, like enhanced Wi-Fi and a better range, and maybe tweak the battery life a little bit, new ESCs, the 4K camera that's already in there, by the way. They just have to activate the firmware to do that. So, there's a lot of good things coming up. There's Bill's Spark plus Wi-Fi, 18-minute flight time, $449, Spark Pro, OcuSync 2.0, Smart Controller 4K 60, 22-minute flight times, $899. I like that, Bill. That sounds real good. If they make the price too high, they may lose the low end of the market. You're right. You're right, Ron. They don't want to lose that low end of the market. And I think Bill just brought up a good point. Make it in two different versions. Make like a Spark 2 and maybe a Spark 2 Pro. Having the one with the OcuSync 2.0, at a higher price point, but enough to where it gets people interested, and especially the runtime. I think that's one thing for me, as far as a pain point regarding the Spark was concerned. Obviously the camera, but not so much the camera as the runtime, because you're out there, you're getting some great shots, you're getting some great video, you're getting some great pictures, and next thing you know, you're at 25% and your warning light's going off and you got to return to home. I mean, it was a kicker. And I think if they can tweak that a little bit, tweak that runtime, probably some new ESCs, new quieter props, I think it'll make a big difference. Question of the day. What do you think of the options that are on the renderings will be on the actual DJI Spark 2? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the content from today's video, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and tell others about the channel. Also, be sure to check out my Facebook page, where I do post daily updates regarding the drone and drone industry and anything DJI, Autel, or Parrot related. Also, be sure to check out my Twitter account, where I do post daily updates, and Instagram as well. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.